What is up, harvesters? Welcome back to the returning viewers, and if you're brand new here, welcome to Hobby Harvest. My name is Ken. So today I want to talk to you guys about the top 5 must-dos before deer season, and number 1 on the list is stand safety. So you might be putting out something like a ladder stand, climber stand, whatever. You're going to want to get those out in the woods before the season, obviously, unless you're on public land and you have to take it out day with you or whatever the regulations are by you. But if you can have those stands out there early, this is a great time of year to get those stands out there. If you have box blinds like this one here that stay out there all year long, go out there, make sure they're safe, get up there, give them the wobble test back and forth, make sure nothing's going to fall down on you while you're in there, or that the stand itself is going to fall down. The other thing you want to check for that I have an issue with in this one is you got to get those hornets out of there, especially with us here in Wisconsin where our bow opener is middle of September. Those hornets will still be in there when the season starts, so I want to make sure I get them sprayed out of there, cleaned out of there, evict any mice that may have made a home in there over the winter, and just make sure they're safe and ready to go for the season. And the other thing you're going to want to do while you're doing that is make sure that any shooting lanes you have that may be obstructed by growth this year are cleared out as well. I have to do that with this one every year. It's built nicely tucked into this wood line here, so it really hides the stand. It's a great place to put a stand. It's also screened at the bottom by this switchgrass that I'm standing up against here. The switchgrass is almost taller than I am here. It'll get even taller, and it also got beat down by a big rain this morning, so it actually stands taller than this once it's dried out. But with this stand secluded in here, I have to cut back some of the switchgrass and some of those branches in order to make sure my shooting lanes are open out here onto the food plot behind the camera here. So when I do have a deer walk out here, I don't have a branch that just happened to grow there since last season right in my shooting path. Number 2 on the list is to make sure that your hunter ingress and egress trails are cleared out. Now, on other videos, I talked about why you may come into the stand one way and leave the stand another, and that's why I always split those into 2. Now, all stand locations do not need an in and an out. Some can use that same trail. But if you are in a situation where you have an in and an out, you want to clear both of those trails. Otherwise, just clear that one. You want to make sure that's cleared out. You want to fix up anything, take down any branches that have grown into that path. You'd want to be able to get in and out of your stand without having to put a lot of extra scent in the woods. That means anything you would brush up against, get that out of there. Now a good time of year to get that out of there. Get in here with a weed whacker, get in here with a clippers, a chainsaw, whatever you need to do to just make sure that that path in and out is completely obstruction free. Any rocks you might scuff your boot on, that's such an unnatural sound out in the woods. You really want to make sure that all of those things are cleared out before the season starts so you can slip in and slip out completely undetected. And speaking of boots, while you guys are out here, you definitely want to make sure you have a good boot on your feet while you are out here doing all of this habitat work. That's why I'm out here today wearing my Hi-C men's rubber working boots with EVA midsoles. These are very comfortable boots. They keep you warm, they keep you dry, and the best thing yet is Hi-C boots have a 100-year in your lifetime warranty. So if you guys have any issues with these boots, they are going to take care of you. All you gotta do is contact them, fill out that lifetime warranty when you get the boots. It takes about a minute and you are set to go for as long as you have these boots. Guys, these boots are so comfortable. I've been out here working all day in them and it just feels like I'm walking around on marshmallows. These insoles are just second to none. I've had so many other boots that eventually they start to wear on you, they start to rub on you the wrong way. These boots have a calf strap so that even if you have those big old dad calves, you can get them strapped in there, get them secure. The one thing I really hate with a rubber boot is that it slaps the back of your leg and you start to get chafing there. These boots do not have that problem. Again, they also keep you warm and keep you dry. They have 5 millimeters of neoprene. For those of you that are more familiar with the Thinsulate scale, that's somewhere around 500 grams of Thinsulate. These are a great boot for a day like today where it's only in the low 60s and it's been wet and damp all day. Now the sun's starting to come out a little bit, but they're a great boot to just keep you warm and keep you dry all day long. Hi-C also has a full range of other men's, women's, and children's boots, as well as things like bibs and other stuff. You guys should go over and check them out. I will leave a link to their site down in the description if you want to go check them out. While you're over there, if you use discount code HOBBYHARVEST, they will even give you a 15% discount. Another great feature they offer is no interest financing. So if you guys want to go over there, get these boots on your feet right away and pay for them later, they also offer that option. So highly recommend go check it out. Use discount code HOBBYHARVEST and you'll get that 15% off while you're over there. Number 3, we're going to talk about your man-made deer trails. So your man-made deer trails can be something as easy as this, which is just a weed whack trail through some taller grasses and native plantings out here, because just doing this is going to make the deer walk right here, because it's the easiest mode of transportation from point A to point B, and that's going to put them right on the food plot right behind the camera here. So that's something that's really easy for you guys to do regardless of where you have your stand set up. So even if this is public land, a lot of public land areas will let you trim trees, cut down trees, as long as you're doing it with hand tools, you're not getting out there with a chainsaw. So it's really easy to just open up a path, make it easier for those deer to get to you and away from you, or get in from any which way you want them to come into. And that's going to put them right in front of you, because that's the easiest path for them to travel through the woods. So you really want to make sure these are opened up. These are trails that have of course been here for years, but each year I have to reopen them up a bit, because during the summer, the deer, wherever they are during the summer, is usually not where they are during the hunting season. So they're not coming through here and just pounding through here like they do in the fall. So they don't keep these trails naturally opened up like they would if this was the fall. So I always get them a head start, and I get the trail opened up for them. They'll of course then come right where I want them. They'll come right in front of me, right in front of the stand over there, and that's when I'm going to have a shot at them. So depending on what your harvest goals are, you can let them walk, you can shoot them. That's all up to you, but you do want to get them right in front of you, and the way to do that is to open up these trails, make it the path of least resistance through the woods, and that's going to put them right there in front of you. Number 4, we want to talk about your attraction. So right here I have a mock scrape here. This is one of the easiest attractions you can put in the woods. Again, regardless of where you're hunting, put a mock scrape in front of where you're sitting. It's a great pinpoint to put those deer that are anywhere in your remote area right in front of you, and it keeps them distracted while you're there at that mock scrape as well. So you're going to want that to be right where you want your shot to be, so in shooting range. This isn't going to be a vacuum that sucks them from 100 yards away in the woods and puts them here, but it will mean that if there are several different trails through an area that they can cross through, they will come and hit this one that this mock scrape is on, because that's where they want to be. They're going to want to at least touch their nose to it, sniff it, even if they don't actually scrape it or rub the ground or whatever. They just want to make sure, kind of communicate with the other deer, see who's been in the area, and excellent way to do that. Now your attraction could also be your food plot. I'm not going to talk about food plots in this video. That's a whole bunch of other videos I have out there if you guys want to go check those out. But if you guys do want to put in food plots, that's also a great attraction. Those need to go in around this time of year as well. Other attraction may just be a bait pile out in the woods, but if you do put that bait pile in the woods, you want to make sure the area around it is kind of cleared out so the deer can kind of get in and out of there. They don't want to sit on that bait pile if they feel like they're kind of like enclosed in there. So, and then open up those trails that come in and out of that as well. Another thing would be a water hole. You can get your water holes out if you haven't already. Get them filled up, definitely, if you haven't already. Just any of those attractions, a great time of year to get those out there and get those done now before we get too close to the actual season. Number 5, so you guys are going to want to get your trail cams out there, not just get them out there, but you're going to want to make sure they're set up correctly. So obviously I'm not going to talk about the settings on the camera. You guys have your cameras. If you do want to check these out, I'll leave a link for those down below too, so you can see which ones I use. But if you guys are putting your cams out, the one thing you've got to keep in mind is getting the path in front of them clear. You don't want to have a branch wagging in the wind and setting your camera off. The other thing you want to worry about too is that if you are taking photos or videos at night, you want to make sure that your foreground doesn't have a lot of foliage in it, because when that night vision light turns on, that infrared light turns on, it's going to light up everything in the foreground. And if your movement was like further back on the camera, you're not going to be able to see it. It's going to be so blacked out because of the lens being overexposed to all of that bright stuff in the foreground. So just a little bit of a camera tip there. You want to make sure that your cameras are going to have the proper exposure for where you're taking the photos or the videos, and to do that is just to make sure there's not something right in front of the camera that's going to light up. The other thing is to make sure to point them more to the north, or if you do have a lot of tree cover, and the reason for that being is you don't want that sun to come up and then shoot right into the lens of the camera. Again, overexposure of the lens, you're not going to have great photos or videos when that deer comes and walks right in front of your camera and you're sitting there going, oh man, I wish I could have seen what that one was, because that's of course when that big boy's going to walk in and you're going to really wish you had that. So just make sure the camera's set up facing north in the northern hemisphere so that you're not fighting with the light and the overexposure of the lens on the camera. Hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really wish you guys luck this season. These are 5 things you really need to get out there and take care of. I did today. If you want that 15% off of those Hi-C boots, head over there, use discount code Hobby Harvest. If you guys really enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy this one. Otherwise, go check out this one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.